sometimes, oh, thank you. Sometimes, as you have repeatedly reminded me, or at least I reread your emails or whatnot, is sometimes you regress only just for a little while, because a short while, a while, um, because there's stuff to clear.
That's it.
Yeah. And it was funny. It was just like, what, a few days ago, and it's funny, the time goes. I feel like it was just an hour ago, and it was just a few. But anyway, a few. And I finally went down the hill, and I was like, really wasn't a big deal whatsoever.
That's great. That's so good. That's very
Yeah,
good. And so now you've got that feeling and you've got that knowingness. It's like, okay, so the next time you can go a little bit further because you know it won't be such a big deal.
right. Well, yeah, and like I mentioned before, I easily went a few miles ahead.
Hmm.
So I need to gain that back and obviously gain plenty more. Because as we talked about, it's not just about going, it's about having total freedom. Um, but yes, I sent you, as you could tell, several different emails. As I was like, you said, what do you want to focus on today? And I was like, I quite honestly don't, but I know whatever you chose, I'll be completely content with.
Yeah, it's interesting because I looked through all the bottles that you chose and there was a definite feeling that came from all of the selections that you made. And a lot of the stuff I think that you've selected, we've worked through a lot of that stuff, but I felt that the most interesting selection that you had was the one that you had resistance to, which was the forgiveness bottle. So I'd like to explore that, as a follow-up on what we worked on last time. So I've
Okay.
structured the session um, really to look at where what happens when you replace self-judgment with curiosity. So I think that this is a great theme to work through based around what you've done so far, where you need to get to, and where you're going, because a lot of that magenta ray energy within the bottle number 22, it goes back to the Catholic Church. It goes back to that, all the self-judgment because of what happened and the things that were programmed into you as a child.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, so do we want to do that? And if it takes an hour, it takes an hour. But if it doesn't, then maybe we could possibly jump into one of the other emails that I sent you,
Absolutely.
especially like because I said freedom, traveling, overcoming phobias, all of that.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. With all the color mirrors bottles that you chose. Exactly.
yes.
So I think that what we can do is we can start by, just sort of checking in really and just seeing like, like how have you been feeling within yourself since the last session? Like what's been going on for you?
Um, well, I've been all right. I haven't been fantastic. I haven't been bad.
Yeah.
I've just been all right. And I mentioned all right because I know with Manny coming this weekend, it'll be exciting to see him, but I know that I can already feel the weight of his disappointment of me not coming down with them on the weekend. He can
Okay.
see me when I'm here because I know he really wants me to do it. And there's a part of me who quite honestly wants to do it as well. But as we mentioned before in just the last session, there is no set schedule.
No.
He told me, well, he goes, Saturday we'll go. He told me these are the shops we're gonna go to. He says they're not big. He goes, it'll probably take us about, I would guess an estimate of 3 hours downtown, then we'll come back. But see, because there's no set itinerary without it being set, it means if they see something else, they might want to stop there. If they run into somebody they know, they might want to chat with that fellow. Um, might decide, oh, let's go to see a film, let's go out for tea, whatever the case may be. So and quite honestly, I thought, what am I ready for in myself? And truthfully, I'm ready, as I mentioned a plethora of times to you, and I apologize for repeating myself. If we were to go to the shops and see a play in Lancaster, as I keep repeatedly mentioning, it's out of my comfort zone. I can manage that. I can't manage going downtown with all these big, large skyscrapers and driving from one part of the city to another, going in and out of shops, not having, no,
Mhm.
no. So, I have sort of that weight, the weight on my shoulders, if you will, but I'm not people pleasing.
Good.
I'm doing what is best for me. I'm not going to put myself in a position, as I mentioned to you before, he told me, "Oh, you'll have horrible anxiety, but you'll have a great time because you're with me."
Mhm.
Well, that's a bit daft, don't you think? So, yeah, it's how I'm feeling. I will tell you when I do the brave little things,
Mhm.
I feel fantastic.
Mhm.
And it's quite interesting that I get little rewards afterwards.
So what sort of rewards do you get?
Well, when I went down the hill, and I went up to not the first street, but I went up to the second street. I was grinning so hard, I did not even know somebody could smile that hard. And it gave me a boost to go a little bit farther. And I really should have done it, but see, I don't want ego to get an even bigger ego and think, yeah, you should have done it. Because when I did, I do believe it was like around dusk, and it was. Well, not right around dusk, but maybe within 35 minutes. Well, that doesn't matter. I didn't go up to the third street because I was like, well, it's going to start getting busier and busier. People coming off the motorway, getting ready to go home. Because if you go up just a little bit more, there's the motorway to go on and off the motorway, depending on which direction you're going. But anyway, that was my excuse. I do want to go back down and try it like an early afternoon when it'll be quite calm there. Um, and that was one thing. Another is today I was feeling a little out of sorts. Not a big deal, just taking a stroll in the neighborhood behind my parents. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I want to turn around and go back to their home. And I was over at their home today because we went to a grocery store called Market in the Square, which has much cheaper groceries. They were supposed to have a big sale I told my mom about last week. And she's like, I'll wait till next week. And obviously, we missed the really big sale. Oh well. But anyway, I was like, oh, just not feeling great. And I told myself, it's just anxiety. It's you don't have any other actual health issues. And instead of turning around, I made myself go a little bit farther to the little free library where the books are.
Very good.
And ego was like, well, that's stupid. That's completely daft. Why do you want to do something idiotic like that? You already know all the books in there. And I fought it. And I first turned around and I said, yeah, I've been to that little book thing a few times. It's always the same books. So this time, nope, I'm gonna go. And guess what? I found a brand new book in there that seemed quite interesting, so I took it.
No, well done.
Yes. Another example. What was something else that just recently happened? Well, now I can't remember. If I remember later, but it was
Okay.
another one of those brave step things, and
That's great.
you,
So
yeah.
what so where do you feel like you've reduced self-judgment then?
Um, well, definitely not feeling guilty for doing what is best for my health. Oh, another example to you. So I did get offered a job, and the guy seems ex really friendly, but I decided I'm not going to take it because for my mental health. And I know if I were to tell my parents or I were to tell Manny, they would go, blah, yada, 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 yada. Manny doesn't get to talk because he lived here with me rent free and he could have got a job in East Aurora and chose not to. His whole excuse of I was trying to save money to whatever, Manny. No, you were just lazy. You could have went out. So he doesn't get to tell me a word. And I'm not going to tell any of them anyway. Excuse me. But well, the bloke is really friendly. Energy wise, I could feel he has served combat, the guy who wanted to give me a job. I could instantly see from his energy and his aura that whole PTSD, even if he doesn't diagnosely have it, you could see it in the energy field. Now, that's not why I decided no. The reason why is it's a butcher shop, okay? And I did have interest back in August, and I inquired. I gave him my name and number, and he had me come just a few days ago and do an interview. And he gave me, oh, it was yesterday, do an interview, and he gave me the offer on the spot, and I said sure. But then after I left, as I'm driving away, I remember what he told me in the interview. He says, "Oh, I bring the animals in and I hack them in pieces. Then you put the meat through the grinder and you like make hamburgers out of them and wrap them." And I do eat meat, but I thought to myself, with my mental health, he was talking about like he brings the whole animal in, and you are gonna watch him with a big axe chop off the head, cut up the legs, and I know my parents would be like, "Why? It's a job. You get paid. You eat meat. You have hamburgers. What's the problem? You ate hamburgers yesterday." And that's a whole lot different than watching a animal having its head chopped off, its arms and legs chopped off.
Yeah, it's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, for my mental health, and I literally was thinking about my work with Susie Wu and you, and I'm like, I've done so much work, and I've done sound therapy, and I do my own healing stuff as well, and I have crystals, and I pray and all that. And I told myself, I honestly feel that if I take this job, I'm going to be back to square one because of the trauma and also because I can feel energy, including of animals,
Of course.
which is
Yeah.
why, yeah, which is why I've considered actually not eating meat or greatly limiting my meat intake.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my long-winded answer.
No, but
So,
I get it. I understand why you've reached the decision that you've reached, and it's you're honoring yourself. So
yeah,
you,
I'm
so
honoring myself and I'm not
yeah,
oversharing. Before, I would have told my parents, "Hey, I got a job," instantly after getting the offer. And this time I've become wiser to be
yeah,
like, once I sign the W-2 papers and right before I walk in on the first day, then I'll tell my parents I have a job
yeah.
now. And that's the problem. That they used to be like, take any job, take any job, take any job. Well, what would happen, Hayden? Simple. I would take any job and I would get the worst managers that you can imagine. But because I'm having those borders and I'm, as you just told me, honoring myself,
Mm,
I know I'm going to get the job that is meant perfectly for me.
yeah, 100%. So you've reduced self-judgment in making decisions that are in alignment with you,
Yes.
which is great. Okay. So where has curiosity there then opened up new opportunities? Where has curiosity opened up new opportunities for you?
Well, because I'm not like doing any old application just to get a job. What I've been doing now is I've been looking at stuff that I'm curious in case I want to do that as a career field. Now, I am interested in medical billing and coding. I wouldn't devote, all this time to it, and it does cost, few $1,000s, I believe, maybe a little bit less than that. But I have other interests as well. And what I did yesterday is I was watching the intro videos to different classes that I've signed up for on Udemy and saw which ones I'm the most interested in. And it kind of goes along with my personality, but I am also interested in data entry or a data analyst.
Hmm.
So, I now that would be like a whole year in itself because you have to really, really, really know statistics and all the data stuff. But like I like all that techie stuff.
Mm.
How to build apps, how to build websites, data analyst, all of that, you know. So with that, it just allowed me to have that curiosity to know what do I have passions for and sort of explore new things. I also really like oldie timey stuff as well. Um, so I wouldn't mind learning how do you make cheese? How do you make a barrel? Um, but yeah, it just having those borders of what's best to do for myself currently has allowed me to quit people pleasing to focus on what I may be interested in pursuing.
Fantastic. That's so good. So, and it's brilliant as well because it's very in alignment with your three as well in your numerology, the analyst, the data. I could imagine you doing very well with data or business analysis. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And that's interesting because there was another thing. A friend of mine sent me a I don't know when, a few years ago or something, and it was called Salesforce. And at the time, as you tell me repeatedly, and others have told me, like Susie, Patricia does sound therapy. I rarely, rarely ever work with Patricia. We always do a trade. Well, anyway, um, sometimes you hear things, but you don't listen because for some reason you're not ready for it.
Exactly.
And my friend used to tell me all about this business thing. She was a business administrator certificate for Salesforce. And I didn't comprehend it, but now I actually do. But it would take like the certificate, medical certificate I'm going for, it would take well over a year to do. And I don't want a job in corporate being a business administrator, but I'm interested in certain components of it. I'm interested to learn it, but not to have it as a career.
Mhm.
But I just feel like it would come in handy having some of that business aspect in doing data for businesses or data for analysts. And I'm sure that would even help somehow within the medical industry as well.
Yeah.
Um, and it's interesting too, also honoring myself, having a combination, because I will be quite honest with you. People in allopathic medicine in the Western, they're like, oh, holistic stuff is rubbish. You'll get a couple people who are like, they'll believe it if there's like really strong background science to it, like hypnotherapy.
Mhm.
They'll believe it. But those people, you're never going to get them to believe in like color therapy. It's just not going to happen. For me, I believe all like well, I would say all, but nearly all of the holistic stuff. Color therapy, besides color therapy, sound therapy, acupuncture, uh, you know, uh, tai chi, energy healing, all of this. And so, but a lot of people who are very, very, very holistic, they think Western medicine is a bunch of garbage.
Mm.
And so I've learned to bravely defend my own self of going, this is what's correct for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
If I believe that vaccinations are beneficial, and a lot of people in holistic, all vaccines are toxic poisons. They don't help anybody. I don't believe that whatsoever. I do know for a fact that there is vaccine injury, and it's severely underreported. But I know that there would have been millions of more people dead during COVID-19 if there weren't the vaccine. Not everybody agrees with that. I work with Susie. She's a lovely lady, but she and everybody has their own right to their own beliefs. She believed that the COVID-19 vaccines, were just injected with really, really bad stuff and felt they were dangerous. I honestly felt like it depended on which company you chose.
Hmm.
I had Moderna.
Hmm.
I know people who had the others, Pfizer and especially Johnson and Johnson had much worse effects. So I know I'm blabbing out a little bit longer than I wanted to, but my point is just having that curiosity because I'm at the point where I don't feel like I have to defend my position. If people on both sides of the spectrum from Western medicine to holistic think I'm a baddie, so be it.
Hmm. Good, good. That's brilliant. Absolutely. So it's like you're really standing in your own belief systems, in your own power, in your sovereignty, and it's not going to sway you either way what anybody else thinks because it's what's right for you.
Precisely. And what's correct for me could even change a year from now.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I've learned is that don't ever have don't ever have really solid firm beliefs in anything because the opinion on it could change, and you might think, I will never change my thoughts on this. And you actually might. I think it would only be extremely few and far between. If you were to change your mind on thinking drowning puppies is bad or murdering your neighbor because they have the lawnmower out at 8 a.m., if you change your mind on that, you might need a psychiatrist. However, in normal cases,
Yeah.
best to
Yeah.
be flexible.
So not being too rigid in your belief systems as well, and that you could
Yes.
change and be open to new things, depending on how much self-awareness, you've been exposed to.
Yes.
Great. Okay,
Yes.
good. So, all right. So the core theme then today is releasing the inner critic and expanding self-compassion. So we're going to explore the voice of the inner critic, when it shows up, what it says, and what it tries to protect, and then introduce the concept of the inner nurturer or the inner coach, and then ask if curiosity were the voice of your inner mother or your inner guide, what would she sound like? And then we're going to use the color mirrors bottles that you've selected that support self-love, compassion, or the heart chakra. And what I found with a lot of the bottles that you chose were bottles, that incorporated heart chakra colors.
Mhm.
There was a lot of the
Yes.
coral, a lot of the rose, a lot of the green, and a lot of the compassion that came through with the Kuan Yin stuff. So that's why I've developed this particular inner works activation meditation for you today. So we're going to work through all of this. Okay.
Yes.
So what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes for a second, and I just want you to just start by focusing on your breath. So, taking a nice deep breath in and holding, and then breathing out, and just letting go of the weight of the day and any thoughts or feelings, just letting them go. This is your time for your healing, just anchoring your awareness in the present moment. Just knowing that you've got nowhere to go, nothing to do. Just observing any thoughts that you have and anything that lingers, just imagine wafting it away. Just returning to your breath, taking a nice deep breath in, holding and breathing out. Just allow your body to soften, allow your mind to quiet, and just allow your energy to come fully into the present moment. So now with your next breath, just imagine a soft rose pink light surrounding your heart, warm and gentle and compassionate. And this is the color of unconditional self-love. Just let it wrap around you like a blanket. Soft rose pink light. And now bring your awareness down into your body, down into your belly. You can even place your hands on your belly, on your solar plexus, into the place where your inner child lives. So then just imagine a small, glowing version of you sitting there, your younger self, the part of you who sometimes feels afraid, judged, or not enough. Just see her as clearly as you can, her expression, her posture, and the emotion that she's holding. And as you approach her, just bring the pink colour with you, like a soft glow in your hands, and gently sit beside her and let her know that you're here. Let her feel your presence and your warmth and your safety. Now ask her softly, what do you need from me today? What do you need from me today? And just allow her to answer in words or images or feelings. Let her speak. Let her express the fears she holds.
I just got two answers. The first one, she told me, I need you to help me with my homework. The second is, I need you to help my teacher not be mean to me. I went back to being 6 years old when I lived in Los Angeles, and I had a teacher. I was in public school for just a little bit until my parents very thankfully switched me to a Catholic school. And at the public school, I didn't like it very much. There was very peculiar behavior. Like they made us have snack time standing next to the garbage cans, which was really, I don't know, just off. Um, that was peculiar. But besides that peculiar, I used to get in trouble. I wasn't quite sure why, probably for talking out of turn, knowing how I was as a little child, as a young child. And as punishment, I used to be sent to the year seven. It's grade seven. I would be sent to their classroom to sit there for part of the day. Um, which again was like okay, but I never liked it. It made me feel really uncomfortable because as a 6-year old, 13, 14-year olds are really gigantic compared to you, which is funny because now as an adult they're just kids. Um, but that's what she's asking me. I don't know why help me with the homework. Um, and when I greeted her, I was sitting on the end of the driveway on our home on Avenida de las Florestas, in El Toro, which is now called Lake Forest, California. And she was drawing with chalk, and I went to grab one of the big pieces of chalk to start drawing with her. Um, and I loved living in LA. I loved it because I wasn't bullied. Like when I went to school in kindergarten in Orchard Park before we moved across the country, and when we returned for several years of my schooling experience in New York State, being bullied. I never was bullied in LA, but I guess that's what stood with me was the teacher always kicking me out of the class and sending me to the much older students.
Okay, so
And I
just
didn't
allow her to
appreciate that.
express what the fears were that she holds in that situation and let her tell you where the self-judgment lives inside of her.
She tells me she feels lost when she's being forced to sit with the teenagers, that she feels like her first grade teacher will forget that she's there. And what was your second question?
Let her tell you where the self-judgment lives inside of her.
Really interesting, very, because she feels that she's being punished for expressing herself because she would try to talk and was being controlled of when she could talk and what she could tell you.
Okay, good.
So that really limited on self-expression because it's a raise your hand, wait for your turn, don't talk when the teacher's talking. Didn't appreciate that. Sort of felt like if knew the answer or wanted to contribute something to the class, it should just be free-fully told whenever you desire.
Okay, good. So now just imagine a second color. So a bright, clear yellow emerging.
Interesting. I thought of yellow before you even told me.
Well done. So this is the color of curiosity, clarity, and new possibilities. So just imagine this yellow light beaming down, pouring down over both of you. Soft, warm, and illuminating. It doesn't judge. It
What I
simply
got was
does.
really in sorry, what I got was really interesting from my 6-year-old self. There was just an extreme amount of curiosity outside of class. In my neighborhood, there was a pool, and a man who was full-blooded Native American. His dad was a chief. His name was Frank Diamond. He's still alive in his 90s now. And, well, as far as I know. Well, anyway, well, he used to teach me so much. And I used to go down to the pool and I would be learning how to bicycle. I would go down there and he would teach me how to draw. He was an utterly fantastic artist. And my parents still have some of his original artwork in their basement in their home, just a few, on the other side of town. And I felt free to explore my curiosity. But when I was in school, I felt like that curiosity was very limited. It was very limited to what I was told I could do, um, because of all the strict rules. But as I mentioned, it did definitely get better when I went to the private school.
Okay, good. So just let your inner child show you a new way to respond, a new way of asking what else could be true? What is this moment really showing you? And how could you explore this instead of shrinking from it?
My 6-year-old self was telling me that that was the year of try and try and try and fail, try and fail, try and fail, but eventually became try and succeed. What I mean by that is I took swimming lessons when I was very little. I screamed in terror the whole time. My parents decided, I'm totally not prepared for this. When we moved to LA, because there's a bunch of swimming pools and there's the ocean, all of the children know how to swim and they learn really young. And I basically jumped off the diving board or wherever I jumped at the local town pool. And in that town pool, I was sink or swim and I taught myself how to swim. And it was try and try and try and try until you succeed. It was the same thing with bicycling. When I was in kindergarten back in Orchard Park, which is just the next town over, I was learning, but doing a lot of falling. Really wasn't prepared for it. But when we got to LA and I was 6, well, other kids in the neighborhood had bicycles. I wanted to master it. I don't think it was because of them though. But no, it was because I want to be able, I think, to get down to the town pool to do more art lessons with Frank and have do drawing with him. And or no, you know what? Now I remember it. He never taught me to draw. He wanted to teach me, and I said, and I told him no thanks, which I regretted my whole life. But I did enjoy watching him at least. Um, but it was that's what my younger self was trying to teach me. It was trying. I was not afraid to fail. I wasn't afraid to uh, precisely that's the whole thing. I wasn't afraid to fall off my bicycle. Um, I wasn't afraid to, even if the kids younger than me were swimming back and forth in the pool and I was still holding on to the wall, it didn't matter. It was just the fact that I was trying. And that's what it's trying to tell me. You may fail repeatedly, but just keep trying. And I know that's related to the driving.
Okay, good. So now take your younger self's hand and just imagine her standing up beside you, now stronger, calmer, and more open. And then just wrap her in the pink and yellow light, the colors of rebirth, and let these colors blend into a soft coral glow. This is deep self acceptance and healing of old wounds. Just say to her gently with your inner voice, "You are safe with me. I am choosing curiosity over judgment.
I'm choosing curiosity over judgment.
We learn together. We grow together.
We learn together, we grow together.
You are loved."
You are loved.
And then just feel your inner child relax and feel her lean into you. Feel the two of you becoming one again as she gently integrates back into your heart. Now just bring your awareness back into your breath. Inhale softness and exhaling any of the judgment. Inhaling curiosity and exhaling pressure. Inhaling compassion and exhaling fear. And then with your final breath, just let the coral light settle in your whole body like a new frequency that you're now carrying. And then when you're ready, just begin to return back to the room, wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes and your shoulders. And just know that you are safe. Okay, well done. Interesting. What did you think? How did you feel during that process?
It was quite interesting because never in a million years at the start of this appointment did I ever think I'd go back to myself as a kid in California.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, and how did I feel? Certain things came up that I forgot about that were pleasant reminders. I also just like, I honestly felt like I got more out of my 6-year-old self, but who knows? My 6-year-old self probably got more out of me being 40 years old. But the whole try, I wasn't afraid before. Just I try and fail, try and fail, try and fail. But if you keep adding, you keep trying, you will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Just a great but gentle reminder, but just
Yeah,
still utterly fantastic.
absolutely. And you know what? That's such a powerful session for you today because that's evidence. There's evidence there that if you try and try and try, you succeed. So
Yep.
she probably
Remember?
just, yeah,
Try, trust, grow
yeah,
in the
try,
last
trust,
session.
grow. And she's kind of, your younger self has offered you that childlike curiosity back again and demonstrated to you that you can already
Yes.
do this because you've already done it.
Yes. Yes. I love the way that you just phrased it. Perfectly, perfectly told. We have a little more than 15 minutes. Let's jump into something else.
Okay, so what I feel is we want to look at some of the bottles that you chose that are connected to freedom for you.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to share the screen
That
with
plays
you.
into what we're just already discussing, too.
Exactly, yeah. So it's very
Yeah.
important because freedom really is the crux of the work that we do together, because
Yes.
that it is moving from a place of restriction, but then moving back into a place of freedom. And the things that you chose that connect up with that, the bottle that you've got there is spiritual and material conflict. Now this is that stuff that we covered off quite a few weeks ago, where you were incarnated as either a nun or a monk, and you signed vows of poverty. And that was one of the things that was limiting your abundance flow to you. So it's almost like that belief that you can't be both spiritual and wealthy. So that's playing into this whole, this whole thing of your not feeling free. This is
Yes.
connected more with financial freedom and being
Yes.
able to be the healer and make money from it.
And
Yeah.
it's interesting because I'm still doing the financial abundance mantra I put on my refrigerator. And I even asked myself that a few days ago. I said I cleared it with Hayden, but what is occurring? But maybe it's just simply because of, as I mentioned previously, I'm finding the job that fits me. When I left the job, I called the guy today. And the only thing I regret is I wasn't honest. If I told him I got another job offer and it paid more, that wasn't the truth at all. But I kind of was like, I wanted to be more gentle with him than I kind of felt like telling him, well, I honestly decided that psychologically I don't want to see you hack the legs off of animals. I felt like that wasn't the correct reply to give to him. But and I think maybe that's why my financial abundance hasn't yet come. Um, And also for my own holistic business, I tried building a website, then I looked at the cost of everything, and I kind of felt like, Wix might be great for Susie Woo, but I felt like it was not the proper company for me. I'm not going to throw my money. And she goes, and I know it's true when you have a website, you get way more clients, but I have to do what's correct for me. And it didn't feel like my financial abundance is prepared yet. I just felt like Wix was not the company.
Good. And that's right. You're honoring your own inner guidance system. It's just not the right thing. The other thing that you chose was the New Beginnings bottle again, so that's playing
Yeah.
into that. So this is all about you experiencing more joy in your life, more fun, more laughter, more play. This is the sun shining over Atlantis, and it's the new beginnings as well.
Ah,
Yeah. So that's
yeah,
interesting that it's come up, and also releasing those fears of betraying yourself as well, or of not trusting people enough to be able to be there for you, like
yeah,
that child version of you in the school that felt like you'd just be forgotten about by being in that
yeah,
class. It's like you're going to be forgotten. You're going to be somewhere unsafe, and then people aren't going to remember that you're there, and then you're going to feel like left alone, and you're going to be betrayed. It's that sort of thing that comes up with that. Then also, the rose, which is um, this bottle here actually, G32, and that is um, there you go. It's connected to letting go of the need of other people's approval.
oh wow. Now, yeah, see, I've made it extreme amount of progress with that, in my parents' approval compared to a few years ago,
Mhm.
even compared to less than a few, even less than a few years ago. Yeah, there's this major, and you get to the point where it's like you're 40 years old. Deal. This is what I'm choosing.
We see that comes with unconditional self-acceptance. Then once
Yes.
you've got to that, you're like, well, I don't need other people's approval anymore. So that it's playing into um, that version of freedom, for you as well. So these are all aspects of what's playing into you, either feeling free or not feeling free. Um, I'll just share the screen with you again. So the other one that you chose here is the the green pearl of wisdom. Okay, so again, the green vibration. This is all to do with freedom because it's almost like an amplified version of the Mercury bottle number 5, which is about letting go of old masks, being truly honest with yourself about what it is that you want, and not hiding from life anymore.
Yeah.
Then you also chose Kuan Yin as well, which is the goddess of mercy and compassion. This is a very sensitive energy. Often this is like deeply empathic and sensitive energy. So it's where trust and expansion merge together. So it's and also letting go of judgments as well, letting go of judgments about yourself, because it carries sort of almost like a Melchizedek vibration about it as well.
Hmm.
So, and he's the king of righteousness, the ascended master of righteousness. So letting go of all self-judgment. Then you chose the heart chakra bottle, which is turquoise over pale green. And that's giving yourself space to kind of integrate your own heart-related healing. It's about, sometimes that can bring up old heartache as well, or freedom of being able to express your heartfelt truth as well. So being able to express yourself truthfully from your heart. And then the expansive choral vibration, which we ultimately integrated into your electromagnetic system around your body to help you to remember unconditional self-acceptance and expansion and growth. So with the Jupiter energy, it's like saying that true self-acceptance comes through true expansion comes from unconditional self-acceptance. So they're all playing in, all of those bottles are playing into, you feeling or not feeling free. And we've worked through, I know that as we look through those bottles, we've worked through um, all of those, over the sessions that we've worked through. So, it's interesting that they've come up as little subtle reminders of what you've worked through already and what
Yeah.
you've been able to understand, because all fears are only ever really there to be understood. And once you understand them, you can move beyond them. So, out of those bottles, was there any of them that you felt that you haven't fully been able to, do you still feel any resistance towards?
Oh, interesting. So out of these, do I feel any resistance towards any of them?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take a quick look now.
Okay. So that one.
No, no, yes, no, no, yes. The last one I got, no, I really love this bottle.
Okay. So it goes back then to the heart chakra bottle and the rose. Yeah.
Yeah, this bottle, yes, the third bottle and the second to last. So yes, that would be correct.
Okay. So we're looking at then the heart chakra and the rose. So these are the two.
Which is interesting because rose and green is together on the color chart.
Yeah, they're complementary colors, aren't they?
Complementary, that's it.
And you
Yes.
remember what that means? The opposite of red and green?
They're paired well together. They're both a heart chakra, and green is heart chakra, pink is higher heart chakra. Um, I know it's not precisely red because that's a different color, but pink is a mixture of white and red. Um,
Yeah, but
but
what's the
yeah, I mean, it's
actual sort of lesson in the green and the red?
love and self-love.
Well, yeah, but it's about remember, it's about codependencies, moving away from patterns of codependency.
Oh, now isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because it's this, you know, it's the partnerships bottle. Mm.
Yes.
Yeah. So it
But
brings,
remember also what I asked you in an email what's something you might want to work on, and you told me codependency. I didn't choose that tonight as a but remember I did put in bottles that represent Manny and my friendship.
yeah.
So it's interesting that this is all sort of coming up as a it's all sort of just playing out in one session, if you will, one appointment.
That's exactly right. So the codependencies, if that's where the resistance still is, this is the next layer. So what we can see there is, it still plays itself out as the relationships that are closest to you in your life, and
Yeah.
becoming codependent when really the truth is when you are in your sovereignty, there is no room for codependencies anymore because you've got it there within yourself. It's like you don't need to feel completed by the external other.
Yeah. And also probably the codependency on my parents, which is toxic because I don't have the financial abundance that I want yet. And also because there's just so much to clear, and it's that toxic loop of I have anxiety. Well, it would probably be better if my mom didn't have a drinking problem and, loops back around. And my parents always, everything has to be they're correct and all of that. So that's a codependency there. Which is interesting because Maddie would tell me, how are you codependent? I'm trying to get you to be independent. But we know it's just dealing with all of those issues, if you will. Um, Should we try to see, because we have still a few more minutes,
Yeah,
you want to pull up the email. Now, I did put traveling, but that's probably still, now this is one thing. When I was in the kitchen just about to get my dinner ready, I just made myself some eggs before meeting with you.
yeah.
And my higher self or God told me, you put the word freedom, but freedom does not always mean traveling. So it asked me to pick bottles related specifically to traveling, as in going on holiday or traveling to another city or traveling to another town. It was interesting because I thought, well, that would include freedom. Told me, no, 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 no. Freedom is way too broad of a topic.
So these are the ones that you chose for travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
chose the Mars bottle. Okay. So the Mars bottle is all about, um, it's all about, it's the fire elemental. So it's about taking action. It's the Mars energy, is is often about you speaking up about how you feel at the time that things need to be spoken about instead of walking away from situations and wishing you'd done it. So it's about wise assertiveness that comes up with the Mars energy. So with this, it carries the vibration of the nine as well, which is the humanitarian, but it's also the wisdom energy as well. So, it's interesting that that one's come up. The heart chakra bottle again has come up with travel, which is, connected to about you speaking up your authentic and being truthful about yourself, but also healing any heart related issues. The green vibration, it will always relate to freedom, space, your soul craving space and exploration as well. The love anchor as well, which is about fully accepting that you are divine love. So this will bring up expansion, the soul craving expansion, because the coral ray sits on top of the magenta ray there. So your soul is craving expansion, and the rose gold pearl of wisdom, which is you anchoring your uh, divine feminine essence, and rose gold, is a very soft feminine energy. And again, the Kuan Yin energy of compassion, being more compassionate with yourself and flowing more with with travel. So I feel like it's, when you look at all of those energies together, is there any that you have any specific resistance towards with regards to travel?
Well, we'll go through each one then real quickly.
Okay, so you've got the Mars bottle.
Okay, ask it one more time, please.
Any resistance towards travel when you're looking at these bottles?
No, no, yes, no, no.
Okay, so it purely is then, it's just the bottle which is the resistance is the love anchor. So with the love anchor, this can often mean as well that it's almost like you maybe that the soul isn't fully ready for expansion. The human aspect of yourself is, but almost like underneath all of that, there's still some sense of guilt, that if you are to travel, the there's almost like if you were to do that, then you might not be um, doing the right thing or something like that. It's selfish or something maybe that's come up with that. There's some sort of feeling selfish if you are to travel. Um,
Well, can we clear that, please? Because otherwise, I don't want to be, utterly, immensely limited in my life, and it would be a gigantic waste of all the money and time and energy I've spent already.
hmm.
Uh, so is there anything that I could possibly pick very quickly in like the 2, 3 minutes we have left of something, a bottle that would represent me clearing that that belief?
Well, that
You phrase
one,
it better than I do.
yeah, I think that, with that, if there is that sense of guilt, that's undermining, if you are to suddenly go off and explore and to travel, that you're almost like doing something wrong.
I don't know why I would have such a feeling. That would be something to explore, but perhaps there's at least one bottle I could pick quickly, even if it's for a following appointment, at least to have something, because I'm gonna not be able to sleep if I can't pick a bottle that would represent how best to clear this bunch of BS.
Okay, let's have a look then.
And are you certain too that's what's coming up? Because I
Potentially,
just
it's potentially coming up. Let me just double check,
yeah,
because there
because
may be
I
other.
honestly am like, why would I even be deeply subconsciously even considering or thinking of such?
Well, it's unconscious, isn't it? So the,
Yes.
the bottle relates to the coral gyres, which were created to remind you that you are a divine being having a human experience. It is only because you have chosen to experience life in a body that you can be part of the creation of a new reality on earth, a true heaven on earth. Heaven has never been a place out there. It has been a journey into the heart, which is the gateway to divine love. The rich, sumptuous colours of this bottle remind you that love is all that exists. Here is true deep love on all levels, the unconditional self love of coral, supported by the divine love of magenta. The 36 reduces to 9, so this bottle is about completion and the end of a cycle. You now have the potential for exciting and extraordinary new beginnings as you merge your human self with your divine self. So move forward now into a new era where everything rests on, is created from, and returns to divine love. Surrender into love and come home. So
Mhm.
when that comes up as a resistance, it's almost like you're not surrendering into the truth that you are divine love.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then it would play into the shadow of the magenta vibration in the subconscious mind, which is guilt.
Yeah,
So,
that it makes sense.
do you know what I mean? So I'm sort of creating a narrative based around the question. and with it being
Yeah.
regards to travel. So pick a bottle out of those that you feel would help you to move beyond that,
Okay. Pick a bottle that would help me
to move beyond that.
on that. Hmm. I go through each one. You know how I am.
Yeah.
3 and 37.
Okay, so you've chose the base chakra and an expansion. Okay. So Jupiter
I'm
and
not surprised I chose coral. That doesn't surprise me in the least.
yeah. So these two. There's lots of coral again and red.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I would say that, it's just about going back into what you integrated today, I think would
Yeah.
help you beyond that because they're connected freedom and travel. This is all about safety. And you feeling it goes back to safety with travel. Um,
Sorry for moving around so much.
fight or
Yeah.
flight, fight or flight, that stuff. So it
Yeah.
can bring in so it's about you feeling safe to expand ultimately. Feeling
Yeah.
safe to expand. So, and taking action, remember the base chakra is all about taking action.
Hmm.
So, um, that's what's going to help you overcome that, is just by taking action. Because if, it's like if you sit with guilt, that if you are to travel, it's almost like you're not, um, what is it? I mean, what is it that you must believe that would make that the issue? If you are to travel and you to feel guilty, then what must you
Hmm.
believe? That you're being selfish? Is it that you believe that you're being selfish?
I consciously I can't think of a logical reply to give you.
Hmm.
Um, why do I feel guilty for traveling? The thing is, I don't. I mean, truthfully, it's like everybody travels. Um, everybody, like all people on the planet. Quite literally, I know it's like you're trying to get me to come up with something from the subconscious level. Like I could close my eyes and do a little bit of hypnosis. Like, no, there's nothing.
So
It
there's
doesn't,
nothing there.
no,
So
there's
what do you
no,
think the resistance is then about that bottle? What do you feel it is? If it's not guilt, what is it?
I hate to ask you, but do you mind getting up to grab the bottle? Because I don't know if
Yeah.
I actually look at it, I might get a better reply.
Okay. So what does that mean to you then?
Well, you want to know the first two words that came up to my mind that I
Yeah.
had no idea were going to come up?
Go on.
Anger and revenge. And I'm like, what does that have to do with Trav? Oh, wow.
What is it?
Bloody heck. Didn't we discussed this two times at one of the first two sessions we had with each other? And I even told you because I swore on the Bible I don't lie to Hayden, and I'm like, you know what? I'm totally over it. You brought the bottle over. First two words were anger and revenge. I said, over what? What does this have to do with traveling? I said, what in the world? And it told me, Matt, Manny's horrible, violent ex-boyfriend. We discussed him. We cleared him. I don't care. I hope he's having a peaceful life. I hope that Matt has, I hope Matt has grown and become a much kinder, calmer person wherever he happens to be now. Um, that he's healed everything he needs to heal. God bless him. Whatever. praying he's a much, much, much better person now. I honestly don't care. It's like I honestly subconsciously have released that. So mind blown is the best way to put it now.
Mm.
I don't want to have any revenge on Matt. I mean, the only thing I could think of is I wish I could rewind time and have told him off like he should have been told off and told him off back in 2021. But it's water over the dam. Who cares? It was years ago.
So the question is then, are you ready to fully let go of that then now?
Oh, yes, definitely. The thing that I'm quite utterly amazed by is I thought we fully released that before,
Mm.
and I'm just here a bit flabbergasted, to be quite honest with you. And I'm almost laughing at this point
Mm.
of that's making me feel guilty to travel farther. I'm not quite sure how to even put it all together, to be quite honest with you.
Maybe what I would suggest then is just to reflect on it and see what comes up for you, because you might not have the answers right now. Just,
True.
just see what comes
Or,
up and, because it's an unraveling, isn't it, healing? Sometimes it could
yeah,
be
true.
something you least expect that can
Like
be,
now.
yeah. Well, the thing is, ask yourself this question. When was the last time you actually went away, like overseas?
Oh, well, the last time I even went on any holiday, the last time I went on a true holiday was with Manny in August of 2020, and we went about 6 hours away to another part of New York State. Because I'm so limited on where I go, I went nearing the end of October to Canada, an hour away, but a little bit more than an hour to our friend's home for the day. In my brain, it thinks it's a holiday. I have not had, I did go to Saratoga Springs with my parents, which is on the other side of New York State. That was only for a few days. It wasn't the best, my mom being intoxicated the second day and keeping us up all night from snoring so loudly. Um, but that's not it's which I did have a lovely time. No one had a lovely time with my mom as well there. It's an utterly gorgeous city, by the way. Um, but and quite interesting, I have a friend who just moved there, funny enough. But I haven't had a proper holiday where it's like you are at a resort and you're there for a whole 8, 9, 10, 11 days or a fortnight. Um, I haven't had a real proper holiday. And it's interesting you mentioned that because I told my mom this over a week ago that if I maintain really high marks in my course, I told her I want to paint my whole place and them to pay it, which is going to cost a pretty penny. We have somebody coming on next Monday, this coming Monday, and the following Thursday to give us estimates. So they agreed, do the whole entire place. But I told my mom as well, for my own psychological health, I'm incredibly happy we're changing the wall colors around in here. Drastically ecstatic. But besides that, I need to go on a holiday.
Hmm.
I need to go on a holiday. And quite honestly, it can't be 2 days, but I would even be happy if it's a long weekend. As long as it's a long weekend that is several hours away from here. It needs to be at least 3.5 hours away, a long weekend. And do not be bringing up people that I don't fucking want to hear about. We go on a holiday and it's just sort of like, oh, so and so would love this. He would love this. Oh, this person's I don't care. I
So,
don't care.
so would your holiday be with your mum and dad?
Preferably, I'd rather have a holiday with Manny if Manny could be kind enough and respectful enough if we do go on a holiday together of we're not going to wing it. We are going to have an itinerary, and we're not going to be, oh, you stay in the hotel room because, oh my gosh, this happens anytime you go on a holiday with Manny, which has been years. You stay in the hotel room and watch television. I'll be back in a little while. I'm gonna go out and just have myself a little time to myself, which is no, it's going out on your phone trying to meet other gay guys, and then God only knows when you're coming back to the hotel room. We're not doing that, Manny.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can see how it's playing into the that sort of anger and resentment.
Oh yeah, yeah, you can tell my voice, my tone changed. Sorry, Hayden, didn't
No,
mean to
that's
sound like
okay,
I was
but
yelling at you,
this
but
is all associated with travel for you, you see. So
yes, my mom not being intoxicated, for example, or blabbing on about, oh, I think I should buy this for so and so, yada yada yada. And obviously I don't get me wrong though, I have tons of fun. Like I went to Philly with Manny and I went to the Thousand Islands with Manny, and even when we went with my parents in New Year's Day of 2024 to Canada, I have a ton of fun with him. But there's certain things that with everybody need to be changed. And even my mom's attitude, we go on holiday and they'll say, what would you like to order? And I'll go, I'm not sure yet. And my mom was, oh, we need more time to decide. Oh, just pick something. Or
so
my mom reads the whole menu aloud, drives you up the frickin' wall. Whole menu. Oh, they have rotini. Oh, I don't know. They have gnocchi. Oh, but that seems quite expensive. And they also have chicken parmesan. And they also have like, Mom, and she goes, "What do you want to order?" I don't know because I my brain couldn't think because you're blabbing away at everything. Oh, you need to be respectful. We're paying for this dinner. Other people at 39 years old, because we're going back in time now, other people at 39 years old don't have their parents paying a lovely Italian dinner for them. Well, thank you for the Italian dinner. I still don't know what I want to order because you have to read the whole menu aloud.
so Megan, what would it feel
Sorry,
like?
yes.
What would it feel like for you to get to go away on your own?
Terrifying. I'm not going anywhere by myself and nowhere near as fun. I want to go with somebody. I just need them to behave themselves and be respectful.
Okay.
And I know Manny's reply would be, well, be respectful to me that I want to go schmooze with gay guys for 3 hours on Friday night. No, you can do that. And he goes, and his reply to me would be, yeah, but these aren't the gay guys at home. These are new gay guys. Like, oh my God, Manny, no, we're on holiday together. If he wants to sneak out when I'm sleeping in the middle of the night, I wouldn't know the difference. Of course, I probably would get up to pee and be freaking out. But no, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just pay for the other person's holiday and be like, I'm paying for it. These are the rules. Oh, you know what I should do? I actually put money towards Norwegian Cruise Line. I already gave them $200. What I'm gonna do is when I'm better, not if I'm better, when I'm better, I'm gonna have Manny and I go on a cruise together. He can go wherever he wants, but I can still find him because we're on the same damn boat. So have
It
all the
sounds like
freedom you want.
it does sound like fun. Well, it's interesting that, that has opened up a bit of a can of worms, I think. So I think that that's something
Yes,
to maybe like really hone in on and focus in on maybe in the next session. So because,
it goes
there are,
back to trust.
yeah, you know, it's brought up something else that's another layer to, to this. And it's about bringing, we need to bring understanding into this and then to help you to let it go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because
And it has
otherwise,
a guilt too, because Manny loves to make me try to feel guilty. He does. And it's all connected.
it is, isn't it? So there you go. So it's funny when you start
Yes.
talking about it, it starts bringing it all up to the surface for it to be let go of. And and it's good to look at freedom and travel as being two separate things, because so I think that travel may be the next thing to focus on. So
Yes.
just reach out to me when you're ready to go through that, and we can design a session specifically for you that's going to help you unravel all of this. Okay?
Okay.
Fantabulous. All right.
Perfect.
I'll send you the recording. Remember, I think Sundays when I can send the
Okay.
recordings through on the WeTransfer thing that I've got. So I'll
Yeah.
send that one then, and then I'll send the other one 3 days after, so that you've got those. And if we have any issues, then I've got a Dropbox as well, but I just don't know how big a file I can use in Dropbox. So I'll do my best to get it across to you on Sunday. Okay?
Okay, perfect. No problem. I have plenty of cleaning to do because Manny will be here this weekend, and also just because it stinks in here because of the cats.
Oh God. So have a nice weekend. Enjoy yourself. Okay?
I will. I
You will.
definitely will.
All
All
right.
right.